Good evening. I'm Bob Venero, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the 9th Annual Long Island Technology Hall of Fame Awards Dinner. Tonight we'll be celebrating the 69th Annual Intel Science Talent Search Competition here in the United States. I'm very fortunate to have Kevin Chu along with me here tonight, telling me about his project and what he's done. Kevin, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
So why don't you give us a little bit of an understanding about what you've done and the impact and your mentor and some of those other aspects.
Sure. Well, it started off the summer after my freshman year, in which I played cello for patients at Elmhurst Hospital Center in Queens. And while playing cello one day, I remember a patient coming up to me and telling me that I wish my doctor could spend more time with me. I don't fully understand what's going on with my medical treatments, because there are a lot of urban minorities at the hospital, especially those that are recent immigrants with limited spoken English. I had remembered reading an article in the New York Times back then saying that 25% of American breast cancer patients aren't receiving the standard of care. And I wondered if things such as patient-physician relationships, the communication, and other psychosocial factors would play a role in disparities in breast cancer care. So what I decided to do was I surveyed 105 breast cancer patients in Brooklyn and Staten Island in New York. And I found that even though 75% of patients nationwide are receiving standard care, in Brooklyn and Staten Island, only 44% were receiving standard care. I also found that patients of female oncologists were significantly more likely to receive standard care than patients of male oncologists. I found that patients with higher levels of participatory decision-making, better communication, were significantly, had significantly lower anxiety than those with lower participatory decision-making. And finally, one of my findings I found somewhat surprising was that even though only 44% had been receiving standard care, which is a very dismal rate, participants still indicated very high levels of participatory decision-making. So they were saying that they had good communication between themselves and their doctors. They felt that they were having good quality cancer care, yet they actually weren't getting the proper cancer care. So it kind of highlights the importance, you know, we need education perhaps to really break down this barrier and perhaps educate patients about the importance of standard care in breast cancer treatments.
So who was your mentor in this process?
Well, I worked with Dr. Allison Wesley, who is essentially my school research teacher. I didn't work at a lab, I didn't work at a hospital, so I kind of did it without a supervising scientist. And I guess through it all, me and my school research teacher, we worked really hard on this, and it kind of taught me the importance of hard work, I guess, because sometimes you really reach some barriers being a 17-year-old working independently on this type of project. But it taught me that hard work can really go very far.
Well, it sounds like an incredible project. Listen, we'd like to actually give you a little gift here, thanking you for your hard work. You know, we look forward to seeing what the future holds for you, for us, and for those patients that need that extra care. So appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm sitting here with Michael Camunello. Michael's going to tell us about his outstanding project that he did for the Intel Award. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Very good. Thank you.
So for my project, I basically analyzed the inequity of high school science research education in New York State. My friend had actually entered the competition last year, and he did not qualify as a semifinalist, where other schools such as Hewlett and Ward Melville were able to produce 12, 13 semifinalists each. So it got me interested to find out what factors influenced their success that maybe Division Avenue or other schools that entered the competition didn't have. So I assessed several internal and external factors, including average SAT score in both math and reading, the percentage of faculty with a master's degree, the percentage of students eligible for free and reduced lunch, the distance to the nearest university, because at this level several students who enter the competition and do well compete and do their research at these university labs. So in analyzing both the Siemens competition and the Intel Science Talent Search along with these factors, I was able to prove that factors such as per pupil expenditure, which was another factor I analyzed, didn't have as big of an influence in producing semifinalists, which interested me because it wasn't how much you spent it, it was how you spent it, which I found very interesting. And another factor which I think played the biggest role was the distance to university. The exponential curve I found for the number of winners within 0 to 1 mile, 1 to 2 mile was so significant that the correlation was practically perfect, So in my recommendation, I had recommended that universities establish ties with high schools that aren't within close proximity to allow students to be able to compete and increase the equity in their education.
Yeah, that sounds outstanding. So who was your mentor in that project?
I actually did not have a mentor. Me and my research teacher, Mr. Marzigliano, worked on the entire project from start to finish. I started at the beginning of my junior year, and it just goes to show you that I might be my own outlier in my research.
And I can imagine that Intel probably never saw a study like this done before.
I can imagine not, and I'm definitely interested in presenting it to them, and I'm hoping they're interested in mine and maybe gain a little insight in their own competition.
Probably a smart play that they actually let you into that next level. So, Michael, appreciate it. Listen, we have a little gift for you here, so hopefully you can enjoy a little music with that, and you know, enjoy your time, and we look forward to seeing what you have to bring in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm here with Paul Masidas. Paul is going to tell us about his outstanding project that he put together for the Intel finalists. Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you, too.
So graphene is currently a material that it's two-dimensional and it's carbon-based, and it has properties that are much better than silicon, so that it can be used in computers as processors, transistors, stuff like that. But currently it costs about $100 million just to synthesize a piece about a centimeter squared. So what I did was take the synthesis and make it a little bit cheaper and make it a little bit safer. And I did that using ethanol. So it has the potential to reduce computer costs greatly.
So $100 million, that must have been a little expensive for your school's budget.
Yeah, I actually worked at Stony Brook University in the engineering department.
Okay. So so what do you see from a future perspective with that? What do you think the impact is going to be for the average person on the street besides cost? Is it any faster? Is it any lighter? Is it any of those attributes?
Well, right now in computers, what they're doing is just throwing in more silicon with dual-core processors and quad-core. So with the same amount of graphene, you can have a computer that's 10 times faster and about 5 times cheaper.
I want to be the first one to order one of those. I appreciate you coming here tonight. We have a little gift for you, some music
Thank you.
That you can play with there, and we look forward to seeing stuff in the future from you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.